Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here with Cathy Savage. She's a dear friend and a mentor of mine and has just totally rocked my world. And I'm grateful to be able to share her with you. And here's a little bit more about Cathy. She's an internationally recognized fitness and life management strategist who's located in Boston. She's been featured on MTV, ABC News, Fox News, and she's also been a contributor and board member of the prestigious advisory board of Oxygen Magazine and Strong Magazine. And since the early 1990s, Cathy's been the pioneer in successful coaching for women from all over the world. Her online nutrition and wellness program is the first and most prominent all-inclusive global training program of its kind. I mean, this is just I'm so proud of you. I mean, it's just like, I'm so excited that you're on here with me because of all the different things that you've done. And there's more. She's coached celebrities, athletes, television personalities for lifestyle changes and business strategies. Her clients span the globe from the US, Australia, Asia, Europe, and throughout North America. She's graduated from Boston College at Boston College, and she's also has used her education and experience to build a wellness empire, to develop women's empowerment service where she coaches women on life strategies and how to be more money savvy. So I'm excited that you're on here. Did I miss anything? Because you are amazing.
No, thank you. I don't think you missed anything. You know, I'm old. That's why I've done so much.
I don't think so. Not everybody who's old has done quite as much as you. And I'm telling you, a lot of us in the fitness industry look up to you, and you've had Savage Girls, your own fitness studio, but then it's been so much more than that, and you've actually blown that up and gone even beyond that with being so global, which is exciting. And that's why I wanted to have you on here, is because you're wise. People call you Mama Savage for a reason, because you're so wise.
Oh, thank you.
It's true. And so I wanted to ask you, how did you end up, because you graduated from Boston College, which is very prestigious, and so how did you end up getting into the fitness world?
Well, thank you, Lorri, and it's so good to be here. You are one of my favorite people in the world. We're like kindred spirits, so it's an honor to be here. When I graduated from BC, I was very, very lucky to land a really great job and in corporate America. But I found that I just, as much as I was honored to have such a great job and work with amazing people, I knew that I really didn't want to answer to anyone else. And my love of fitness and athletics was something that I really wanted to explore. So even coming right out of the gate back in the 80s, when we were told, get a good corporate job, wear the pumps and the suit and the briefcase and you're all successful. I did all that and I loved it, but I just had that burning desire to do something more like movement oriented and something that I could call my own. And so started teaching aerobics part-time, started personal training part-time. I was doing it a little in college here and there with jazzercise and aerobics and things like that. And then soon got into competing in aerobics competitions and then fitness competitions, and just it immersed my life, just like fitness does for so many people. And I built it in the pockets of my day. And when I went niche to more of the athletic and competitive fitness market, there was no one else doing it. And so I kind of, without a playbook, I created a niche that there weren't any coaches, there weren't anybody like that in that industry. So I kind of went for it, made it up as I went along, and here we are 30 plus years later. And I'm really proud of it. I'm super proud of what we built, because we just didn't have that playbook ahead of us. We had no idea what territories we were chartering, and it all worked out. So I'm very, very blessed.
Oh my gosh, all the lives you've changed. I mean, you've had multiple women on the covers of fitness magazines all across the United States. I mean, fitness, shape, oxygen. I mean, the list goes on. How many women would you say that you've had on the covers of magazines that you've helped them attain that?
Yeah, I mean, internationally as well, throughout Canada, Europe, Asia, the US, God, probably in the hundreds, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I've worked with thousands and thousands of people, not only the cover girls, but the girls who were in the magazines doing an 8-page layout spread and stuff like that. And women who went on to write, and women who went on to do retreats, and women who maybe magazines weren't their deal, but we kind of brokered them into some other type of business in the health and wellness industry. So it's really beautiful to look back and see so many of my former students just crushing it in new markets, and to know that they found their voice with me makes me feel really proud.
And so you have Savage Girls, and then you're continuing to put your fingers into other areas, business strategists and helping people create wealth, and just so many really rich areas. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, thank you. You know, I found that, and you know this, Lorri, and when you work with people in health and fitness, in my opinion, it's like only 5% is about the nutrition, and 95% is about the life strategies and the skill, and helping people get through challenges in their life. And I found that even right back in the, the early days, 3 decades ago, I was really helping women just kind of with their life skills, and making sure that they didn't put too much emphasis on their looks. And I always would say to them, it's great that you look amazing, but I want to know what you're doing with your life. I want to know what we're going to be doing 10 years from now. Do you have a plan? And it was that natural instinct of being a professional coach, even back then, having studied the best sports coaches that there are, and studying them in academia through management, leadership, all of those things. I always thought of it more than just fitness, even back then. So when I started getting really involved in the entrepreneurial phase of each client, we would say, what do you want to do? What do you want to build a business? Do you want to be a trainer? And instead of them going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars from someone who never did it, I took that on as well. And but it's funny, because I remember in the early days when the girls were getting all these opportunities, I was acting as an attorney. I was looking at contracts. I was negotiating contracts. I don't know who I thought I was. I wasn't an attorney. But it's funny, because all those people that they were trying to get, all the supplement companies, thought I was an attorney. They just called me their agent, their manager. So I always had that mothership eye on all my girls, making sure they shot with the right photographers, pulling them away from photographers who weren't going to serve them correctly and in the light of being, a wholesome woman. It started back then, but then I realized that I could help them monetize their brand. I mean, we were talking about brands in the early 90s, before everybody thought branding was so cool. And we worked really hard on that. And we realized that we are our own commodity, meaning we don't have to sell our souls or sell out in the industry. We can become our own empire. And that's what I had women really get a hold of, because if they had something special about them, and everybody does, and we capitalized on that. We partnered with amazing supplement companies, and the rest is history. And now they have their own personal brand, and they're building their own empire. And that pay it forward mentality is something so beautiful in the entrepreneurial space. You're cheering for everybody. And I'm really proud that we've been able to do that, especially with our product partnership, and so much more.
Yeah, you're amazing, because you also, being such a rock star businesswoman and running your life like you do. I know you go 100 miles an hour during the day. And I know you're such a great mom with your son who just left for Boston College, and then you have your beautiful daughter who's in high school, and then you have a husband that you really, love and have a good relationship with. So how do you balance all of that?
Thank you for that. I'm really proud of my kids. I keep them in the center. I treat it like a table, and my parents taught me that the family is the centerpiece and everything else revolves around that. So I've never taken my foot off the gas of family first, and everything else falls into place. And once you establish that boundary, it's really not difficult at all, quite frankly. When it becomes hard is when you just don't know which one is first. And when you place your family first, everything else revolves around it. I've said no to a lot of things. I've said more no's than yes, because of family obligations, or I don't want to miss a recital or a game or anything like that. And I've never regretted it because I've been very firm in my boundaries, that family comes first. My kids know that they are number one. Nothing is more important than them. And I don't want, at the end of my life, I don't want my kids saying, well, mom worked a lot and she was really busy. And so I found a way through everything I've done in my life to make sure that everything rotates around family. And it's been great because it's been a good success model as well. I haven't had to give up financial things. They always would work out. People actually would book me for things knowing how much I cared about my family. It was very evident, and they wanted role models like that. So, you know, I would encourage women who have kids, whether they're little or big, or it doesn't matter because you never stop mothering, to really try that, to just put them at the center of everything. And then you'll be amazed at how everything flows synergistically around them.
That's so great. You're such a way shower. Like you've been on the cutting edge of a lot of programming, and just didn't have any cookie cutter thing, any manual on how to do this. So who mentored you? I know you're close to your dad and your mom. I know that they were probably strong mentors for you. But in addition to your parents, because I love the stories about your parents, and it's such a rich history. You know, you have such a legacy. So who else in addition to that has been your mentors, have not really having a lot of women role models that do what you do?
Right. I don't have any role models that did what I did, which is probably why I really looked at sports coaches, the greatest, like John Wooden, basketball coaches and it's very strategic because basketball and business is so related. Mike Krzyzewski from Duke University. Those are real big standouts for me. My parents, absolutely number one, my biggest inspirations. God bless them. They were teachers. They were trailblazers. My mother was an absolute, cracked the glass ceiling, just a pioneer, went to college, got 2 master's degrees when women women barely graduated from high school and then got married. My mom, way back then, was a trailblazer. My dad was just an absolute icon of education and mentorship. So I had a front row seat my entire life to doing it right with integrity, putting family first, and making sure my education was good, like all of that. I've been very blessed to work with, I've had one business coach, Allie Brown, who is the best of the best. She really got me because it was hard because I was in my own space. I was a category 1. It was really hard for people to connect. They really didn't understand what I did. Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank was another mentor of mine a couple of years ago. So I've surrounded myself with women who are, like you said, like, you know, you get to be with women who are better than you, and you learn so much. And I can say right now that some of my other greatest mentors, Kathy Coover, co-founder of Isogenics, I've been blessed to be around some amazing women. I have not had a negative experience of men or women who have tried to kind of, you know, douse my flame. They're really, I mean, the little ones here and there, but nothing that really stopped me in my track, because I just knew that I had a mission and I wanted it to be service driven, and no one was going to stop me. So, and I would say that I learned that at an early age.
Love
well.
all of that.
I would say my parents were like the catalyst for all of it.
It's so great because you're, just by sharing what you're sharing, you're teaching so much to all of the people who are going to be watching this. And also, how do you find balance? Because you're going after so many things, and so many people need you and want time with you. So how do you find balance?
Yeah, I don't think balance exists. I really think it's, you know, the definition of balance is organized chaos. So I like to use the word synergy, because it kind of has to flow. And when it flows, sometimes it's a little more of this and a little more of that. But it's really establishing the boundaries and the ability to assess, analyze, and match energy. So in other words, if someone isn't giving me the energy that I think they need to transform or make change or want to build a business, I lose interest. I lose interest because my time is valuable, as is everybody's time is valuable. And so I really do a great profile of someone. How bad do they want this? And it's straight up with my clients, whether they want to build a business or they want to lose weight. I have to see how bad they want this. If they have a burning desire to do this, then I'm their best friend and I'm going to get them their results. I do not lose. I will get them their results. But if their energy isn't the same as mine, I do not do CPR at the morgue. I will not drag you. I don't drag people. You have to want it more than me for me to work with you. And so I would encourage women to always think that way. You've got to really be an energy checker, a vibe checker, if you will. And if you feel that you are dragging someone or you're trying to convince someone of something, you back off. And so that I've gotten really good at it. I'm sure I wasn't that great at it when I was younger. I think wisdom and time takes over when you really see, because there have been those moments where, you too, Lorri, and we've talked about this, you put so much energy into someone and then you end up wanting it more than they do. And you realize, God, it was such a waste. Well, it wasn't a waste, but it's a great lesson to say, here are my boundaries. Here are my expectations. I will say one thing for myself is I'm very clear. No one ever says to me, I wonder what she means by that. No one ever says that.
Love.
Right. So love me or hate me, you know exactly where I stand. I never raise my voice. I'm just really direct. It's East Coast. I'm from Boston. And I'm really clear on my expectations, my directions, my questions. And for that reason, it's a good synergy. People who they're not going to come at me if they're not really willing to go to battle with me and to make change. Yeah. So I would say that as an entrepreneur, so many women really struggle with that. And I just always say that clarity is queen. It's not king, it's queen. And if you have that clarity of messaging, meaning here are my expectations, here's what you need to do. So there's no gray. It's black and white with me. And that's the best way, because again, having been inspired by professional coaches, the box is only big enough for a W or an L. There's no in between. You either win or you lose in my book. And that doesn't mean it has to be harsh, but I'm talking about, are you in or are you not? If it's one toe in the water, you're not in. You're just dipping. And so it has to be harsh if the transformation is going to happen. And people want to just live in the gray area and just kind of make excuses and make reasons. And I just don't operate that way. I'm wired that way.
I love that about you, though. I mean, that's one of the reasons why you're such a massive success. And so, biggest challenge in your day, and biggest challenge, that you have, just because you have such a high demand lifestyle, and you love your family so much, and so I'm sure you've had some challenges that have happened along the way. And then your best part about your day.
Well, the biggest challenge of my day is probably I don't get to see my kids 24/7. And yes, I'm a helicopter parent, but not in a bad way. But I would want nothing more than to be with my children 24 hours a day. When they are not in the room, I breathe differently. And I'm so in love with them beyond. It's
I
just
so get that.
Yeah, it's so unconditional. And even with my son, who's 40 minutes away, I go up there about every 3 days, and I see him for about 10 minutes. We have coffee and then I leave. So I'm not hovering. I don't go in the dorm, but that's how I was raised. And so I have that same relationship with my children that I had with my parents. And so I would say my biggest challenge is knowing that, knowing that they're happy and knowing that they have beautiful friends and a lovely life, but I do want to hang out with them a lot more. And the greatest part of my day, I will say right back at me, where they're texting me, giving me great news, asking me questions, excited when they get a good grade, excited when they win class president, questioning what they should do. Should they go out or not? It's raining. What should I do? We just have a beautiful relationship. So I would say the most challenging and the greatest part of my day revolves around those two beautiful human beings.
And they're amazing. I know. And Tori's such a creative person. I'm just like they're very different, but they both have that strong family values that you've instilled in them. So it's wonderful to see. And I wanted to do some rapid fire questions for you. I wanted just to get you a little bit, to get to know you a little bit better, and the things that I don't even know about you, and I've known you for years. So do you have anything on your bucket list item that you have not achieved or done that you still want to do?
Yeah, great question. I want to run the Disney Princess Marathon.
You do?
Yes. I want to wear the fun. I want to dress up as a Disney princess, and I was supposed to do it, the half marathon. I was supposed to do it this year, and I canceled it. So it is on a bucket list. Lorri, and we have to go and do it together.
I know. I was just thinking that. I would do that with you.
Yes.
We'll talk after this, and we'll have a training plan, and we'll see what we can do, because I would love to do that. You could train on the East Coast, I'll train on the West Coast, and then we'll rendezvous.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm in. And do you have anything else on the bucket list item? I know that's exciting. You know, you saw me get all excited.
Yes, I know, right? People are always like, really? That's your bucket list? I'm like, I've done a lot of great things, you know, and that's one of them. I just want to dress up like like Mulan and run in the half marathon. So my bucket list too is Tori. As you know, we adopted Tori from South Korea when she was 5 months old, and we have a trip that we want to go on 2022 when she graduates from high school. We want to go to Seoul, Korea for about 2 weeks, and so that's definitely on our bucket list. And then travel more with my kids and my husband, just travel as a family, just more creating more memories. Really
I understand that very much. You and I are on the same page in so many different ways. So any words of wisdom to your younger self?
You were right.
Awesome. That's awesome.
No, I know it all sounds really good, but you know, it is true. I respected the hustle from when I really just was going guns blazing. I wouldn't take no for an answer, and I did everything the right way, never sacrificed my integrity. So I would just say you did a great job, because you held your integrity. You built something that was not even, it was nothing existed, and you could have easily have said no, but you just hung in there. And I think that's the greatest lesson, that people today, they can create anything if they have the drive to do it.
The sky's the limit. It's just, it's amazing. Yes. Ocean or mountains?
Ocean.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
Tattoo or no tattoo? I think I know the answer.
Yeah,
me too. Morning person or night owl?
I'd say a night owl now.
And favorite binge food?
I would say, this sounds so like, honestly, chicken stir fry is like, I would rob a bank. I mean, chicken stir fry, I could eat it every single day. Like, I don't.
Any kind of chicken stir fry, like just like a teriyaki stir fry?
Yeah, like I love throwing things in a wok, and just, it's messy, and that's my binge food. Like, that excites me. I don't eat a lot of the stuff that someone else might, because I don't eat cheese, and I'm lactose intolerant. So I can't eat those bingey things.
Right.
Maybe some breadsticks, you know, if I'm really being nasty, I don't know. But chicken stir fry, it's so funny, because I literally could eat that every single day. And my family is like, no. But I think it's because when I competed in fitness, I literally would eat that every day. And so that's just, if I was on a desert island, it would be that.
It would be that, because that was the next question. If you were going to bring a person or a thing on a desert island, I know you'd bring your kids, but what else, and your husband, but what else would you bring?
I'd bring my protein shakes.
I know, me too. I can't live without them. And your stir fry chicken stir fry. Then sci-fi, mystery, romantic comedy. Like, what's your favorite movie?
Definitely romantic comedy, like Crazy Rich Asians, funny, no stress, If it's a
Yeah.
stressful movie, I will not watch it.
Yeah.
That's changed over the last probably 5 or 6 years, but anything stressful, I don't want to know. I
Yeah.
don't want to know. My husband loves the sci-fi, Lord of the Rings. It's like he's mesmerized, and I'm the complete opposite. I want a Hallmark movie it all month long. Like that's
Yes.
just my jam.
Especially right now.
Oh yeah, I want to know what happens at the end of the movie. At Hallmark, you know,
Yeah.
they always end up together.
I
and
want the happy ending. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's where I'm at. When the older you get, you just don't want the espionage and the intrigue. I don't care. I want happy.
And favorite place to vacation?
Ooh, this is a good question. I've been blessed to have traveled the world, but, and I know you're going to love this answer, I love the Bahamas.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that.
Right?
Because we've actually done that together.
We've done that together, and there's a reason for it. I've been to Hawaii and Grand Cayman. Grand Cayman is so luxe. I love it. It's one of my favorite places. But the reason why, and Europe, of course, is great, but the reason why I say the Bahamas, because a lot of people say, really? The reason why I love the Bahamas is I feel I have a spirit there. I feel differently there. I feel, I can't explain it. It's spiritual. It's a spiritual homecoming. The people in the Bahamas are so beautiful and amazing. And it's one of my favorite places. I am so happy when I'm there. And we got to go together. We had so much fun.
So much fun.
But I think when when we are able to travel again, that's such a quick trip for me as well. Only 3 hours from where I live. So we will make it down there again because it's just such a beautiful, beautiful place for so many reasons.
Mm-hmm. And so as you're looking back over the next 2 to 5 years, do you have anything on the horizon that you'd like to talk about? And then also anything you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, gosh, it's such a crazy time, Lorianne, you know that. And what I have found is we have to really look inward at our purpose. If we are entrepreneurs, if we're leaders of any kind, we have to say, how can we help? How can we serve? And lately that beating of that heart is really directed there. I have a way, a system, you do as well, to help women become financially secure during these times. And it's something that really gives me a lot of purpose, especially in the health and wellness space, helping women earn an income aside from their other amazing career, helping them build something that just a wall of financial security that nobody can tear down. And these days are proof positive that we are not as secure as we were, say, even a year ago. And so I am immersing myself into creating programming and systems to help women create a side income or a full-time income or anything to help them become more financially secure for themselves, for their family. And that is really what I'm working on right now. And I absolutely love it. I love being able to change a woman's life physically, but also financially. And so that really excites me. And there's no better time to do this because we've all learned a valuable lesson that life can change in an instant and you need to be prepared. And so I'm really doing that. It's very service driven for me. And that's what I'm really focusing on right now.
So great. And so would you like to share how people can reach you? Would you like me to include that information at the bottom of this video so people could reach out to you and talk to you further about this?
Yeah, sure. My personal email, because I have a million of them, my personal email is officialcathysavage@gmail.com. That goes right to me. And I would love to talk to people about whatever that looks like, their lifestyle management, business, health, just like you. You're such a wonderful role model, Lorianne, for health and wellness. You've devoted yourself to making women stronger internally, externally, and I think that we have to surround ourselves with women who really want to make a difference. And I'm so glad that you are one of those people for me. So,
well, you're a way shower and a huge mentor. And I'm so grateful that you shared massive amounts of wisdom and your energy and information for all the ladies who are going to be watching this. So again, we will be sharing how to reach out to Cathy in the email that's at the bottom. You'll see a little link at the bottom of the video for her to connect with you and for you to connect with her. So we're grateful for this time with you. Thank you so much. You're empowered boss lady. I appreciate you. And everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.